Hey there, it's Diane Forster, and welcome to I Have Today, the show that inspires, educates, and empowers you through life's transitions. And each week on this show, I bring on the coolest, most amazing, awesome CEOs, experts, entrepreneurs, and truly life changers who've gone through their own transitions in life and have come out on the other side successful. And they come on this show to share their stories with us. And I am very excited about today's show because I have on a very special woman who I consider a dear friend of mine, Kat Sullivan. Hey, Kat, how are you?
Hello, hello. I am honored to be here. Absolutely love you. And I'm just so excited to do this with you.
Well, I'm so excited to do this with you as well because I know that the audience is going to get so much value out of today because you are such a superstar in many things that you do, but in this arena that we're going to talk about. Our topic today is this. The theme of the show is how to use social media to make money. So while you can do it for a lot of different things, what we ultimately want is to monetize things. We want to create recurring revenue. We want to create income that comes to us easily. We want to be able to shine with our own unique and special gifts and have the world value that in us. And Kat has such a great story. Her business, her life, what she's built is so phenomenal. And she's also got her own social media marketing program that is phenomenal too, which we're going to get into as well as many other things. So if you're either already using social media or want to be using it more and really want to elevate and catapult your brand, your persona, your business, whatever it is, you need to tune into this show. So make sure that you're tagging people, you're texting people, you're letting people know about this information so you can benefit from the expertise of Kat Sullivan. So, all right. So like I said, the theme of the show is how to use social media to make money. And then also we always do an intention statement. We're big on intention at I Have Today. And so the intention statement is this: I have today to use my voice on social media. So write that down, let it anchor in for the week. And you really want to, don't feel shy about it. Be confident about using your voice, that you have no idea whose life or how many lives your story, your words, your philosophies, your expertise powerfully impact other people's lives. So we want you to be using your voice on social media. Right, Kat?
Yes. We need more authenticity and more good people on social media sharing their gifts. Absolutely.
Yeah, I love it. All right. Well, let me read a little bit about your bio to the audience before we get into your story. So Kat Sullivan is the CEO founder of Marketing Solved and the creator of Tassie, an automated social software for small business owners. Kat has been recognized as the behind-the-scenes go-to marketing consultant for many top entrepreneurs. Kat has shared the stage with Jack Canfield, Kevin Harrington, Lisa Gibbons, Russell Brunson, and many more thought leaders and influencers. She has worked with and coached well over 8,000 business owners with her social media marketing expertise. Just phenomenal. Kat has also been featured in Inc., Entrepreneur, and Fast Company as an emerging leader in online marketing space, specializing in social media. Amazing. So fantastic. All right, Kat. So let's go. I mean, when I want you to share with the audience is your story, like, what is the background on how you got to become this go-to person, this expert in social media?
Well, with every success story comes like that period of time where you weren't really successful, right? And I think the more entrepreneurs I talk to, we've all had that, what happens before you actually get to where you're supposed to go. And my story is the same, right? I was in the financial services industry for a long, long time. I was doing corporate finance. The collapse happened. And of course, I lost my job. Same day I lost my job, I found out I was pregnant with my first kid.
Wow.
And so, you're doing everything right. I've got this great job. My husband has a good job. We have a nice little apartment. We're doing everything right. And then we're planning on making, having a family. And then it was like the day that happened, I lost my job. And so it was one of those moments in life where you're like, whoa, is this really happening today of all days? Like today is the day. Yeah. So I lost my job with, thousands and thousands of other people. And my husband and I were like, you know what, let's just kind of take control back of our future and where we're going to go. And so we decided, you know what, we were living in a really expensive area in the Bay Area. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but we were outside of San Francisco, East Bay. It was very, very, very expensive. And so we decided, you know what, let's just move. Let's go somewhere where we can afford to live under, with one salary. Because as someone who's pregnant, you think like, well, am I going to go get a job and then say, hey, by the way, in 9 months, can I have like 3 months off to take care of my baby? That's a hard sell, yeah. Especially during a really hard time where, thousands of other people had lost their jobs. And so it's like, you know what, let's just try to do it on one income. So we moved to a much more affordable place, which was a great, great plan for us. And then I thought, you know what, I'm going to be like, in my head, I'm like, this is great. I'm not going to have a job. I'm pregnant. I'm going to be Martha Stewart. I'm going to fold fitted sheets, or I'm going to, I'm going to put my wedding photos in a photo album, which still is not done, by the way. But like day 2 of being unemployed, I'm like, this is not for me. It's not for me. I can't do this. I needed something. And like many of your listeners, I'm sure, we all want to kind of get paid for being ourselves, right? Like the ultimate goal is to do what you love and make money doing it. Yeah. And so I started blogging one day. I got an email from a cousin. She was like, oh, I'm going to start this blog to tell everybody what's going on with my pregnancy. And I was like, I'm going to do that too. So I literally started blogging, and that blog, literally that email that I got changed my life because I started that blog. The blog took off. I mean, we had thousands and thousands of readers. It grew so fast. I was getting deals with, eventually once you have something, people want to get a piece of. Yes. And so my blog was so popular that other companies started trying to work with me, right? So kind of like influencer marketing today, but back in like 2010, it was completely different, totally different market. Mm-hmm. So I started getting deals with Disney and Mattel and Walmart and really big brands. And that was another piece of, you just know you're meant for something a little bit bigger. So when that started happening, people kept coming to me and saying, Kat, can you either teach me what you did to grow your blog, or can you do it for us? And the secret was I had just really early on started using social media. I started putting my blog on social media. I started talking to people. I created a Facebook page, which was like back then, there was a handful of blogs with Facebook business pages. It just wasn't what everyone did because they were in the traditional type of marketing. And so I was like, I love social media. I'm getting paid to play on Facebook. This is awesome. And so that's really what happened. It was just I started doing social media services for people. And then as you might know that when you're trading dollars for hours, you can't really serve a larger audience. You really kind of pigeonhole yourself to only be working with a certain amount of clients. And as a mom who fast forward had 3 kids, right? I needed to find a way to kind of switch our business model so that it wasn't me one-on-one with clients. And that's where we created Marketing Solved, which was meant to basically provide education, online courses, group coaching, so that I could serve more people than I could by doing it one-on-one. Mm-hmm. And it's been a beautiful model. I know in my bio, you said we've helped 8,000 people, fast forward just not that long. And now we're at 11,000, happy paying customers at Marketing Solved. And it blows my mind to think that it all started from something that was so negative, right? Losing your job and feeling kind of worthless. And then you turn it into something like amazing because you take control of it.
Yes. So fantastic. I love it. And you see, you started it with the intention of just doing what you love to do. And I tell clients that all the time. Clients come to reinvent their lives, whether it's personally, professionally, both, whatever it is. And they have these limiting beliefs about ways to make money. And your gifts are so obvious, they come to you easily, right? So and it's not obvious to you that that is something of value to somebody else. Like it just naturally took off for you. You saw the opportunity and jumped on it. And then all of a sudden, all these people who didn't have that as a gift naturally wanted to have you help them, teach them, learn from them, or have you even do it for them. So, what are you doing out there that comes to you easily and effortlessly that you could be making money with, and you could be using social media to do it? Think about that. Okay. Well, okay. Wow. All right. So what for you, you said bumps. What's been the biggest challenge?
Oh gosh. Okay.
Or challenges?
Sure. So, I'll go personal first, and this is always really vulnerable to share. So, but I want to share in case other people encounter this. But one of the most, the hardest things for me personally was the lack of support. And I've talked with Diane about this specifically in the past, but really, you don't realize how hard it is to be alone in this process, and not having people just to ask a simple question, or maybe to get some feedback, or, anything, just, hey, you want to chat about my blog, right? People aren't really lining up to be like, cool, they just, in the beginning, they really aren't, right? Later on, obviously that changes. But so for me in the very, very beginning, I did deal with a lot of just a lack of support personally, which really hard to kind of break myself out of. And it made me feel, a little bit kind of small. It was like, oh, well, I'm doing something that I think is so cool, but they don't think it's really cool. Should I not be doing it? Yes. I would get some pretty heavy criticism from people that I knew that I thought were friends, right? The thought in quotes.
Oh, yeah.
Say, you're a bad mom because you're spending time on your blog and not taking care of your kids. Or maybe your kids, these are actual things people said about me. Maybe your kids would be smarter if you spent more time with them. And it's like, first of all, I spend every waking moment of my life with my kids. I built my business with my babies in my lap. But the outsiders with the loud voices were the ones that really got to me in the very beginning. And I learned over time, obviously those people were never my friends to begin with, and you get through that. But I would say that's probably one of the biggest challenges personally. And every now and then I'll get unfriended by a longtime friend, and I'm like, what the heck, guys? So it's hard. It's hard to be in this by yourself.
Yes. Yeah, some people they can't deal with other people's success. It's so sad, That's why I teach about unconditional love, because if you really loved yourself, you would only feel happiness and joy for the success of other people. And that's a lack in them. It's too bad. So you're right. And those people fall away, which creates the opening for people who really do love and support you to show up in your life.
Absolutely. Yes. You do. It's just one of those things, I think, that when you're naive in business, right, you just don't know what to expect. And that was one of the things that really surprised me. So, but honestly, you do lose people, but you also gain so many new people. You gain people that are beautiful, and people like you've been such a good friend to me for so long now. And so you you lose that. You kind of have to go through it, and you learn how to kind of love yourself and be confident. And even though you go through those hardships, you keep going because your purpose is greater than that. So
yes,
just a little bit of learning you have to do.
It is. And, it's never ending either. By the way, I was working with somebody yesterday whose business really elevated recently in this past year, and a whole bunch of challenges, new ones, right? And I said, it never goes away. You're going to be dealing with these things every single day. This is the evolution. This is, as you grow and ascend, it creates more, I call them opportunities, try not to call them problems, but opportunities to learn and grow even more. So yeah. And you're right. Powerful message. You said, you just keep going, because every day you're different than you were the day before. You just know more, and you're going to know, and I'm going to know more tomorrow than I did today. You just will. So, all right. So keep going. All right. So I want you to talk a little bit about Tassie. What is it and why did you create it?
Sure. So what Tassie is it's brand new. So it's a social media management software. So it's comparable to others that are out there, Hootsuite and Buffer, right? Where you can schedule social media content in advance, which everybody needs if they're on social media. What we did with Tassie was a little bit different. You know, we took what people needed, which was a scheduling software, and we built that. But then we took it a step further and actually created a marketing calendar. So it tells people what they should post every day on behalf of their brand. And so essentially where most people would get really overwhelmed with social media, right? And as I work with all these people, they would have kind of the same amount, they would have the same concerns. I don't know what to post. I don't know when to post. I don't know how to create content. I don't have time. I don't have the budget. And so we were like, well, wait a minute, let's put it all in one. Let's give them the scheduler. Let's tell them what to post and when, and let's give them the content. So we built Tassie just a little bit differently. It includes this amazing marketing calendar, so it's foolproof, right? People can use ours or they can edit it to make it their own. And then we give people the content. And that's what I think has been such a great part of the success, is that people can literally say, okay, I don't know what to post today on behalf of my business. Great, you should log into Tassie and it'll say, today post something valuable, post a quote. And you click on a library and hundreds of graphics pop up. They're completely free for you to use. You slap your logo on it with a click of a button, and then you can add a description, or you can use pre-written statuses, which are also inside of Tassie. So it literally takes, you know, all of the writing and the design and the branding and the marketing schedule and the all of that, and it puts it into one simple software. Mm-hmm. And that's really why we created it, was because I was doing the same thing for people over and over and over again. I would take on these clients and everyone needed the same thing. I don't have a plan, so they needed a plan. They didn't have content, it wasn't branded, and they just didn't have a schedule. So that's what Tassie does.
That's amazing. Okay, so what is the value and the importance, particularly when it comes to making money, in having this social media marketing calendar and having this consistency?
Oh, well, so here, let me tell you this. You know, on social media, it's out of sight, out of mind. Yeah. And I built every business, you know, that we have on social media. And the way that the world is going, social media is where people are at. So if someone is at home and they're thinking, okay, I'm I'm great at knitting. I can teach people how to knit really cool projects. Well, where are you going to promote that, right? Like, your first thought is you're probably not going to go down the street or go to the fair. You're going to go on social media and say, hey guys, this is what I'm doing, right? That's kind of become the world that we're in. Mm-hmm. And so social media, the value of social media has just increased exponentially. I mean, it's absolutely limitless. So everybody has to look at social media if they're planning on doing anything for their business. It's really, you know, it's funny because can you remember a time without social media? Like, what were you doing beforehand to promote your business? Where were you?
I know. Well, I worked in the television industry for, 24 years. So for me, that was my world. And so I worked in corporate, and I had a background in radio sales too. So it was print, magazines, newspapers. It was radio, it was TV, and it was like outdoor billboards and
commercials, right?
Like, yeah. And how different it is now, because the whole world is connected, right?
Well, that's the difference, right? So the past marketing that you spoke of, right? So radio, print, commercials, billboards, newspaper ads probably, but normal people who want to start making money off of their hobby or something they're good at, they wouldn't be able to put on a commercial, right? They wouldn't be able to get a billboard. They don't get, they're not on radio shows. So social media came in and basically leveled the playing field and gives everybody an equal opportunity to expand their reach.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. It's amazing. It's incredible what it's done for this world. So that's going to segue right into my next question. So where do you see this going in the next 5 or 10? I mean, it's constantly changing, right? And
it is
infinite. The possibilities are infinite. The growth is infinite. So where do you see it going in the next?
Well,
you know.
So yeah, where do I see it going? Honestly, I see things continuing to grow. I see the existing networks that are really popular continuing to dominate. But I also think that there's some space for new social networks to come in, and there's some things that we don't even notice that are happening, right? When what's it called? Snapchat first came out, right? It took a long time for normal people to kind of like adapt to it. And then it becomes huge company all on its own. Musical.ly was another one. It was a really like kind of like an underground, only, you know, really in people knew what Musical.ly was. And then Musical.ly gets picked up by TikTok, and now TikTok is this huge thing. So there's always going to be newer platforms that come in that people aren't necessarily taking seriously yet because they're not as big. But I think those are the ones that people need to watch. If they're the type of person that likes to take advantage and become an early adopter, right? I did that with Pinterest. Pinterest came out. People were very like, oh, that's kind of a weird platform. I don't know how to use it. And then for those of us that did, I mean, we generate so much traffic because we were some of the first people to turn it into a marketing platform, right?
Right.
And that's what I see happening. I see more opportunities for newer platforms that kind of identify, or, you know, they kind of take different niches. But I see the main networks just growing and becoming a lot bigger. They're going to start introducing a lot of like AI, artificial intelligence, and things like that. I think we're going to see some virtual reality stuff, being able to do, you know, conferences and different parts of the world at the same time and things like that. So as technology, you know, continues to improve and be innovative, I think we're going to start seeing those things happening with social media as well. But my advice would be to anybody, you know, just always keep an ear out. Always keep listening to what's new, what's out there, what are people talking about, what are the things that you hear a couple times, and then start checking those platforms out and see if those are going to be something you can use or leverage in your business.
Great advice. Great advice. All right. Before I ask you a question that I ask all my guests, I want to kind of recap what you said today, because this is about making money. So the thing is, put yourself out there, you know, use your gifts, Kat started with a blog, you know, talking about her pregnancy, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, real life stuff. People love to hear real life stories and learn from real people. So put yourself out there, be consistent with it, and keep your ear, always keep, you know, your ear out, you know, open to what's new out there, and asking those questions too. So that's great advice. All right. So Kat, how do you live the I Have Today way, which is intentionally in the present moment?
You know, I love this question. And I know hopefully all of your listeners have heard your incredible story, which is so empowering and so inspiring. But, you know, I'm a big believer in every day we have a choice, right? Every day we have a choice. And I always choose that every day is a new day. It's a brand new day. Mm-hmm. And I don't bring whatever drama happened yesterday into today. I say you don't bring yesterday's troubles into today, and you don't bring today's troubles into tomorrow, right? Mm-hmm. Every day is a new day to clean the slate, to start fresh, change your attitude, change your perspective, and keep going. And you know, you're someone that kind of taught me that. And so I appreciate you so much, because when you share your story and you tell people, like, we only have one life, guys. We have one life. And if you're not happy, and if you feel like there's things that could be changed, change them. Like, take control, create your own future. And I know it sounds so cliche because you see these quotes on the internet and they, you know, and one life, let's run like we're on fire to this one life. But I want people to really know, like, hey, you know, you do get to control where you're going, and you do have to choose every day to pick, you know, how you want the day to go. And honestly, just take control of your life. Choose every day to start fresh.
I love that. Of course, I love that. That's beautiful. And that's why you've been able to, you know, create this amazing life, and, you know, certainly a can-do life with your business. It creates freedom. Yeah, you work hard as a mom and a wife and in your business, but you're also doing what you love, and it drives you, and you feel passion for it. And you're in such a place of service, which I love too. You really want to help and support people, and it fuels your soul and feeds your soul, which is beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, you know what? You can live your life in fear of failure, or you can wake up with regret. And regret is so much more painful. So much more painful.
I bet. I'm gonna share something only because I read it this morning, and it's really valuable based on what you just said about being fearful. Because it is fearful, right? When you go on stage, when you speak to audiences, when you tell your story, you're allowed to be scared, right?
Yes.
And there will always be fear. But I read this morning, and so it said, you know what? You're allowed to have fear. You're allowed to, but take the 5 minutes you need to be scared or to be in fear, and then move on, because you still got to do it, right? So it's okay. Like, be fearful and then go do it. Go kick butt.
That's awesome. I love it. I love it. And you know, when you're fearful, you know, that never goes away. Everyone is fearful. Guarantee you, Tony Robbins, before he steps out on that stage, has that feeling too. I think Brad Pitt would throw up like every time before he had to appear anywhere. Like, that was his thing. So you think it goes away. It doesn't go away. It does get a little bit easier, but you always have that feeling. And I love that feeling, because the feeling after you do the thing you're afraid of doing feels so good.
Yeah, I know that feeling too. And it does feel good, right?
It does. It does. All right. Well, is there one final piece of advice you want to share with the audience before we get into our amazing offer and some other things going on here that I have today?
Yeah, and I'm going to tie it back into social media, because this is important, right? Everybody who's listening, I really want you to be encouraged and inspired that whatever it is that you love, whatever, you know, lights you up, whatever is your passion, that you can be getting paid for. I promise you. Start putting yourself out there. Start putting your stuff on social media, and don't worry if people aren't listening in the beginning. You stay committed to you and your purpose and your vision, and you just keep going. And I promise you that eventually that momentum is going to build, and those opportunities are going to build, and your income is going to grow, and you will be so grateful you started when you did.
Yes. Right. Start today.
Yes.
Just do it. So I love it. All right, Kat. Well, I have had such a good time with you. I love chatting with you, and I just love you. You know, I love you. I love you.
Same. Love you back, sister.
Yeah.
You're amazing.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Love journeying with you. So, all right. So let me tell you what's going on here at I Have Today real quick. You know, I'm so focused on helping and supporting people through transitions in life, and I am so committed to helping people who are suicidal and suffering from depression. And the new statistic out now is that 90% of people are saying they're not happy. 90%, which is insane. And I wanted to do something about it. So I created the Happiness Formula, which is a 3-module program that you can do that is guaranteed to have you feeling more happiness, joy, and fulfillment in your life in 21 days or less. And I promise you, if you're not feeling happy, there are key things that you're not doing that you need to be doing in order to get there. So we're going to have a link if you want to learn more about it in the section below. Wherever you're listening to this or watching this, it'll be available. And if you can't find out the information about it, go to my website at dianeforster.com. We will have information about it there. So that is it for this week's episode. Don't forget, the theme for the show was how to use social media to make money. And your intention statement is, I have today to use my voice on social media. Thank you, Kat Sullivan, for being with us and spending time with us here at I Have Today. And we'll see you guys soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.